Why aren't you over it yet? You should be over it by now. That's a question I get asked and have been asked a lot, actually, in my grieving journey. We are going to be folding some laundry today and talking about this subject. Like most things we talk about here, they're not always easy. They're challenging, they're difficult, they are full of big, heavy emotions that suck to be in. And I want you to know something. No matter what you are going through, you are never alone here. Even if I haven't gone through what you've gone through, we share space. We create the space to be able to just be in whatever emotion that is. And with this question, I'm going to tell you a story. It was 3 years ago in May. I got a message from my friend Lisa. And what's important about Lisa is that her daughter Kendall went to kindergarten in part of first grade with our son Ethan, and they were very good friends. Ethan passing away was a very big impact on a lot of people, his class included. And so Lisa reaches out and says, "Hey, I just wanted to check and make sure it would be okay if Kendall carried an 8x10 picture of Ethan across the stage." And I get choked up because that was a milestone, right? Graduating was a milestone that I was never going to witness Ethan do. It's a beautifully hard moment, right? Because it's so beautiful that my friend wants to do this for Ethan and for us. And it's also a hard moment because the reality is Ethan's not going to be there. And that's hard. So of course I said, absolutely. I would be honored if you would carry Ethan across the stage. And so they did. And they sent me the most beautiful picture because we weren't going to be in town for the graduation. And when I got this picture, I just kind of collapsed in the couch. I just broke down in just these horrific sobs because these moments happen when you least expect it. These moments happen when you're expecting it most. These are milestones. And these milestones are going to happen all throughout the remaining days that you have in your life. There will always be something that reminds you of your loved one. And it's not just a child, it's a brother, it's a sister, it's a mother, it's a father, it's a grandma, it's a grandpa, it's a cat, it's a dog, it's a turtle. Whoever you lost in your life that meant something special to you, that's hard grief. That is just so deep and difficult, and it makes you feel so alone. Like nobody else out there knows the pain that you're going through. And so I've learned that these moments, like back to school was very hard for a lot of years. Those moments are an opportunity to practice having patience with ourselves. They're an opportunity to practice letting the grief flow for a minute. It's okay to break down and cry. It is okay to wallow on the floor and just let it out. Because for me, tears are emotions that don't have words. Tears are just relieving that pressure. They're just a beautiful release. And so that's the hard part, that these times are going to come when you least expect it. So no, we aren't just going to get over it. And the people asking these questions have never really been in that type of grief. They've never experienced that type of loss. And if they have, the reason why they're asking it is because they never had anyone in their life telling them that it's okay to break down. It's okay to cry. It's okay to feel. Because that feeling, that deep grief feeling, means that we're alive. And we have the opportunity and the ability to keep our loved one's spirit and energy alive through the works that we do in life. Birthdays are a hard one. Back to school is a hard one. Seeing sunflowers is a hard one. There's so many little tiny moments where we see our loved ones. And those don't go away. Those are always going to be there. So I've learned that the trick to it is learning how to manage our own emotions, learning how to cope, learning how to regulate, learning how to just be, especially when these moments of these big emotions and triggers come up. After I have my time, because we all need our time to just let it out. Just let it out, because if you keep bottling it up, the pressure builds, right? And then you have a really big explosion. So the first thing that I do in these moments is I release the pressure through that cry, through just letting it out. Let the tears flow, let the emotions come out, whatever that looks like for you, as long as we're not harming ourselves or anybody else. And so when I release that pressure, it's out, right? It's out of me. It's not in here anymore. And so what we have to do is we have to come back to the present moment. Because when we release that, we're stuck in the past, right? We're sitting and we're wallowing in the past, and we need to come up here. We need to come to the present moment. And I do something that I like to call observing the moment. Definitely nature is the best way to do this. I go outside and I find the nearest tree and I watch the leaves blow in the wind. Then I watch the little squirrel get their little acorn and they run up the tree and go into their little nest. Then there might be down the way a grandpa playing catch with his grandkids. And I observe that. I observe the grass swaying as the breeze goes by. I ground myself in the present. And then I give gratitude for all that's around me. So we're going to release the pressure. Cry, yell, scream, whatever you have to do to let those emotions that don't have words out. We're going to do that. And then we're going to observe the moment. We're going to look at the world around us and just soak it in. Get our bare feet out there, get on the ground, and soak in that moment. That's going to bring us to the present. And then, to get us to full clarity, we're going to give gratitude. And I've talked about this before, where we just name three things that we are grateful for in that very moment. I am grateful that I have children's laundry to fold. I am grateful that I was able to find one of my favorite drinks the other day. And I am grateful that my kids are happy and healthy and living their best lives. You see, when we find things to be grateful for, it gives us clarity in the now. We don't spiral out into one of those triggers. Because like I said, those come at any moment. And the cool thing is you're never more than a few steps away from nature. Even if you work in a business park and you have a trigger, you say, I'm taking my 15-minute break, because you are allowed those and you are allowed to take those. And you go outside and you find a tree. You find a planter that has flowers in it. Something. And you do these exercises. You deserve to take a few minutes to yourself to manage your big emotions that you're experiencing. It's taken me many years to realize what I was doing with seeing the pattern of these triggers coming up, because they happen all the time. I mean, the big ones are obviously a car accident. You know, while I'm going down the road, that's a big unexpected trigger. Sirens, smells, all of the things surrounding our accident. But the small ones are birthdays. The small ones are going back to school, graduation, different milestones that our loved ones would have reached. Those come out of nowhere. And they're not going to stop coming out of nowhere. And so because of that, we have to manage our own individual selves. And if we need a break, we take a break. Don't be afraid to take a break and manage yourself, because That's some of the best medicine you can give you. For a long time, I tried to shut it all in and shut it all down. And nope, I can't cry. I can't. Because I was worried of what other people were going to think of me. They were going to guilt me, shame me, blame me. Are you over this yet? No, I'm not. And likely, I never will be. And I hope that that person never has to experience what someone who has deep, sorrowful guilt has to experience. It sucks, and it's lonely, and you feel like you're just a burden to people because you want to talk about your child, you want to talk about these moments, but nobody really wants to hear them. So today, if you feel called, I would love for you to share about your loved one in the comments of this video. Their favorite food, what they loved to do, what their name was, what you loved most about them. Because something that I've learned is our loved ones, they never really leave us. Their energy is always right here. It's just a memory away. What I've found is that if I change that narrative, right, of the big emotions of sadness, sorrow, regret, guilt, shame, changing all of those, flipping them around, releasing the pressure by crying, observing the moment, which gets us back into the present, and gratitude, giving it to ourselves so we can have clarity. These are practical things that I have done and continue to do whenever one of those moments come up, and they have helped me tremendously. No, we're never going to be able to bring our loved ones physically back to us here. It's just, that's the reality. And we can visit them anytime we want. Old videos, old photos, memories that we have with that person. The fact that my friend thought enough of me and my family and loved Ethan so much that she wanted her daughter to carry Ethan's photo across the stage. That's something big to give gratitude for. You know, we shape our reality. We really do. We shape our own realities. And we can spend that reality in big emotions of grief and fear and shame and all the other ones. Or we can release that pressure for a minute and find our clarity and be able to keep growing throughout our day. And it's perfectly okay to not be over it, over the loss of your special loved one. It's okay. And you are not alone in that. Every day, there's a sign of Ethan. And most times, those signs, I see them as beautiful little glimmers. Little memories come flooding back. And instead of being sad, the not enoughness that they're not here, I give that gratitude that I had that moment with them. And while I'm out in nature, I can just sit in silence. And those moments can come back. And I can sit in them. I can be there. I can soak that in. And then I can give gratitude that I was able to have that moment to begin with. I've had to reframe so much of my mindset around grief and the timeline of when I should be letting this go. Ethan was killed in 2011. This year will be 14 years that he's not here. Next month in September, he would have turned 21 years old. It's a big milestone. And that's heavy stuff. That's really heavy stuff. And you know what? I'm grateful that I got nearly 7 years with him. 7 years of beautiful, amazing memories that have stayed with me forever. Some of these memories I've adapted into my core beliefs of how other human beings should be treated. So when we're grateful for the time that we have, grief has no room to take up space. When we shift our mindset, we're able to balance our mind. We're able to grow through the grief. You know, the triggers are going to happen. They're everywhere. The reality is the triggers aren't going anywhere. And instead of fighting the current by trying to swim upstream, let's ride the wave. Ride the wave of grief and reframe it. because life is so much more beautiful when we live in gratitude. And at the end of the day, I can promise you, your loved ones that you've lost and mine would not want us to live in grief every day. They would want us to grow through it and shine our light out there for others who are going through the same stuff we are. You are not alone. Not one bit. We are in this grief journey together. And you can come back here and watch any of these videos on repeat if you need to. Because when I say that I love you, I mean it. From the very tippy tips of my toes to the top of my head. I send you so much genuine love. Love is what we need to give each other in order for ourselves to grow. I had this saying this winter, right? We were in the desert and I learned a lot about drought. And I learned that if I want my garden to grow, I need to water it with love rather than starve it with more drought. Nothing grows with drought, but everything grows with love. Thank you so much for coming over today and helping me fold my laundry while we have some deep conversations. I know these conversations are never easy, but I am beyond grateful that you are brave enough to be here having them with me. Thank you for being here and being you. I love you so much. Da, 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 da.